2016 is shaping up to be an exciting new year for the telecoms industry. And GRAPPA is just excited about this as you are. We're very excited to be announcing a brand new program to help revenue assurance managers address all of the different needs that they have for the coming year. We call the program the Manager's Edge. And the Manager's Edge program is designed to help revenue assurance managers be sure that everyone on their team, including themselves, have access to the latest information, the latest best practices, and good guidance in how to move forward in their revenue assurance careers. So we're going to give you a short presentation here. What we're going to do is we're going to cover the new program itself, talk about it in general. We're going to look at the different online certification options. We'll have 3 different certification programs that you can start with. We'll take a look at some samples of the classes so you can see what it's like inside the classroom. And then we'll look at the certification for novice and intermediates, the managers, and the master's programs. We'll finish up with a quick little how to get started and talk about our pricing options. So to the left of this presentation, you'll see a menu, and if you are impatient and you want to skip ahead to a specific section, you can just go ahead and click on the menu there, skip ahead, see what you want to know, and then come back. As I said, this is our new online program for 2016. We call this the Online Certification for Revenue Assurance, the OCRA program. Since 2010, GRAPPA has been training people online. We have over 500 people certified through our online program, mostly in Latin America. Now, we've been very good with the live WebEx/Adobe Connect style training, but people have had some real challenges. The internet training is not as easy as it might first seem. Managers have told us that, first of all, it's hard to get the time set aside, that revenue assurance people are busier than ever. Getting everybody in the same room at the same time is almost impossible. Second of all, people are saying that they have cost pressures, that the training budgets are being cut, they have more training needs and less money available to do it. And everybody needs different training. It's not like we can get one training program and everybody can take the same class. Revenue assurance has diversified as our telecoms have taken on this dizzying new array of products and technologies. So we have addressed this challenge. Our member feedback is clear. The training has to be on demand. Students need to be able to fit in some training whenever they have some spare time in their schedule. They need to be able to take training from home in the evenings. Maybe they have 2 or 3 days where they're off and they can jump in and get 2 or 3 days of training in. So it has to be an on-demand kind of training experience. Second of all, it has to be customized for each student. Students can't be forced to go through materials that aren't of interest and don't apply to them. Third of all, it has to be easy to administer for the manager. The problems with procurement, with getting approvals and budgets, the problems with the learning department create an administrative nightmare for the manager who all he wants is to get his people trained. We also have to be sure that we're teaching the latest best practices, the freshest information from the field, and the training has to be practical and apply to the real world. Where the good news is that's been what GRAPPA training has been all about since the beginning. So we began our Revenue Assurance Academy in 2007, and since then we've trained several thousand students in our different training modes. For the online program, the Manager's Edge program, we will be offering 3 certification programs. We'll be offering the Certified Practitioner, the Certified Revenue Assurance Manager, and the Certified 4G Specialist programs. So the training program is going to be online on demand. We will be publishing a catalog of over 120 hours of online training to be available. This training is equivalent to the training we've been doing in the live classrooms on site and venue. It's going to be better than that in many ways because with the move to on demand, we can be more in depth. We can take the time to really explain things. We're not under the time pressure that we're under in a live situation, and the student doesn't have to be held back by the other people in the room, or he doesn't have to be rushed by the other people in the room. So people can take it at their own pace. We know it's better because there's more feedback. There's more chance for the students to give us feedback, and I'm going to talk about how we do that. And for the masters and the managers programs, the students actually do homework assignments, fill out spreadsheets, do research, turn in their work. I, the teacher, review it, and we can have discussions about how well you're doing mastering the material that we're talking about. So it's a customized program for each student. You as the manager are in charge of all the different aspects, the when, how, where, what, and why. And we, GRAPPA, manage and track the student's progress, and at a better cost. So, number one priority is easy access for everyone, online, on demand, interactive with heavy student involvement. We are giving a weekly teacher consultation, so I will have hours posted every week at a time convenient for your team, and I'll be available for people to drop in and ask questions. It's also designed to be all-inclusive. There's no more of taking a look and saying, well, this guy, he's intermediate, he needs this training, and this guy, he needs novice training, and this guy, he's very advanced. The program will fit all the different people because different people can take different things out of the curriculum that they need. So the approach is simple. We have an online catalog of classes. It's parallel to our current on-site and venue certification programs. It's been organized into 10-hour classes, and each team member signs up and takes the training that they need when they need it. Students can sign up to take a 10-hour course in 1 week, in 1 month, in 6 months, or in 1 year. That's up to them. And each class covers a different aspect of the revenue assurance job. Now, the training is organized into 20-minute lessons, which are lectures with slides where I talk about the different aspects of the job, bring in case studies and examples from the real world. And each 20-minute lesson is followed by a 5 to 10-minute learning interaction, which are chances for the student to concentrate on specific questions, think, and give answers that they think apply to the area covered. We then have those lessons and interactions organized into chapters of 2 hours each. Each chapter has a quiz and then a final exam. So it's a very dynamic, interactive environment. The lecture, as I said, is 20 minutes. The material is interesting, well organized. There are diagrams and compelling presentations. And here's a little short 2-minute demonstration so you can see a couple of clips from what it's like inside of the classrooms.
So what we want to do now is we want to continue a little bit, and again, this is our Introduction to Revenue Assurance class. So we're going to talk about what is it like to be a revenue assurance person. So what is the job really like, and do I make a good revenue assurance person? There's a clear cycle to management's interest and investment in the revenue assurance function, and either they love us or we bore them is pretty much the two conditions, just like Casey's bored right now. Finally, we move into the IT side and mediation. So mediation is the core system utilized to handle the processing, formatting, filtering, and distribution of call detail records from the network to the different business functions. So the mediation, so when the call ends, it will be marked as done and written out, and then when that partial CDR comes here to mediation, it will be taken, and in the mediation system will see, this is only the back end of the call. It will go to the suspension file and try to find the matching other part of the CDR and put them together and turn them into one CDR. Now the process of taking multiple partial sheet CDRs and putting enforcement control, and the actual billing is still being done with a postpaid system. And the bill, once balance based, everything's done by the prepaid billing system, and then the invoicing is done as an after effect. CDRs, and when the CDRs are produced, I mediate them and I bill them, and then I rate again.
In addition to the lectures, we have the knowledge checks, and I think this is the most important, most compelling part. If a student doesn't have to stop and think, and if people aren't forced to process the different topics, it goes too fast and they miss the whole point. So every 20 minutes we stop and do a knowledge check. It's a double check that you're following the material. We get the student proactively involved with the material, and we have what are called learning interactions to reinforce it. So here's a little demo of a couple of the what we call knowledge checks. You can see how I prompt people with the questions, and they have to input the answers on the screen. Those things are captured by us. I can look at the answers and then get back to people if they have any problems with the material. So here's a little knowledge check clip that you can watch. Okay, let's see how well you remember our discussion about the different architectures. So architectures describe the basic components and the basic approach. So what are the three architectures that we use to deliver service to customers? Try to remember what the names of the three different architectures are, and tell us which architecture is the one that we use to support voice. Okay, very good. So the three service delivery architectures are circuit, where we open a dedicated circuit from one point to another, and this is how we usually do telephone services. We have packet, which is like a mail service. We send packages from one point to another, and broadcast, which is how we do broadcast radio, broadcast television. And of course, the circuit is the oldest telecommunications method. That's the way that we deliver voice services to people around the world. So very good. Let's do another check on another area.
Time for the knowledge check for the interconnect line of business, for your interconnect overview. First exercise, match the name with the description for these top telecom interconnect frauds. So match the name with the description of the fraud. Okay. Settlement control protects us from partner overbilling. Partner selection control helps us keep from a collusion situation. Trunk group controls keep us from fraudulent routing and overbilling. And rating controls keep us from fraudulent rating by the partner or by an internal party.
Of course, that was sped up quite a bit so that you could just get the point. Okay, there are also quizzes after every chapter. Now, the quizzes, students can take them as many times as they want. They get to see which answers are wrong and right, and quizzes are there to help people to reinforce their understanding of the material. At the end of the class, we have a test. The test has most of the same questions that were in the quiz, but they don't get to take the questions over again, and they don't get to get an immediate answer of right or wrong. So the test is where we really make sure that the student has captured the material. Finishing the material, watching all of the slides, all of the presentations and quizzes and interactions, and passing the test is how you get certified. Again, that was sped up. Now, we have interspersed what we call e-videos, educational videos, in with the material. So e-videos are key videos from YouTube, from commercial sources. They help provide the student with a better grasp of the material. They give a 360-degree view of the problem that we're discussing. So it gives the students better context and gives them some points of reference. So here's an example, a couple of slices from a couple of the e-videos from some of the classes.
Hey, I'm Lex Friedman with TechHive. We're here in Bedminster, New Jersey at AT&T's GNOC, its Global Network Operations Center. This is where they monitor all the traffic on their network, voice, data, cellular, everything. We're going to go inside and see exactly how they do it. Hey, Chuck, thanks for having me.
Welcome aboard, Lex. Good to have you here.
So what is the GNOC for? What do you do here?
We monitor and surveil all of AT&T's global networks.
Hi. What you see behind me is a base station, of which we have over 3,000, and we're upgrading at least 1,500 of those this year. Let me show you what comprises a typical base station. So, most importantly, we have a cabin.
Well, that's a nice little sample for you to see of what it's like in the classroom. We worked really hard to make this a pleasant, moving experience so that people can get to what they want to know. You can skip the sections that you're already familiar with. So, continuation of our self-pacing, on-demand training put into the environment. There are 3 programs that we're offering to start. The first one is the Manager's Edge Core program. This is the equivalent of the Certified Revenue Assurance Professional that we've been offering in our venues and in our on-site training. It's best for new hires, for novices with less than a year experience, and for some of your medium-skilled, intermediate experienced people. We put over 1,000 people through this program through all of these different delivery methods. The program starts with 3 prerequisites. Everybody going through any training has to go through these 3 classes, the OKRA 1, 2, and 3. And then there are 7 other classes, and they can choose the electives of which ones they would like to participate in. So the OKRA 1 is the Introduction to Standards-Based Revenue Assurance. This is the foundation. This talks about the GRAPPA standards, the concepts of the revenue assurance lifecycle, the principles of our practice, the boundaries, the KPIs, and the best practices and methods in how we do the revenue assurance job. So this really provides the vocabulary and the context for the rest of the training. The second class is OKRA 002, and this is the revenue assurance for voice. This covers the fundamentals of SS7-based, circuit-based voice networks. We go into in-depth into network controls, mediation controls, billing controls, channel controls, so that the student has a good understanding of what the revenue assurance job in voice is all about. So if you have people that are new on your staff, OKRA 1 and OKRA 2 will save you easily dozens of hours of teaching the fundamentals to newcomers. In addition to that, OKRA 3, which is the Data Revenue Assurance Fundamentals. This teaches about DPI, diameter, PCRF, the rules of the internet, and all of the differences, and there are quite a few differences between how to manage GPRS, PCRF, LTE billing against voice. So this covers the same fundamentals for the data side, and as I said, these 3 are prerequisites for anybody taking any kind of training. After that core program, you can take 3 electives from revenue assurance for interconnect, for roaming, for cable and cloud, sales channels, finance and audit, corporate sales, or data roaming. So this way, different students can be focusing on different materials, the things that are important to the work that they're doing. We have 2 advanced programs, one for the managers and one for the advanced data professionals. And this class involves 2 to 4 hours per month of lecture and video and 4 to 8 hours per month of assignments. So we expect the advanced professionals to be more experienced, and we expect them to understand their jobs and be able to write reports, do research, and get much more heavily involved in the material than we would expect from the beginners and the novices. So this curriculum depends heavily on homework, where you do assignments, you turn it in, I check it, and then we can discuss the findings and move forward from there. So this is real university level teaching about real topics that are important to you. So the manager certification program is paralleling our revenue assurance managers certification that we've offered through venues around the world since 2007. It involves the 3 required courses: the Revenue Assurance Manager's Masterclass, the development of vision and mission statements, and charters, service level agreements, and KPIs. So in addition to those classes, managers can sign up for 2 other of the optional courses. And as I said, this is 2 hours to 4 hours a month as opposed to 10 hours a month. So we expect that managers don't have as much time to spend on the training as their team does, so we spread it out for a longer period of time. In addition to that, for the advanced master's level people that have been experienced, and all those people who have completed the normal CPRA GRAPPA certification, we have a master's level 4G LTE. So this program involves the OCRA 003 and OCRA 10, which are the data revenue assurance and data roaming assurance, and then students can choose the optional electives from among all of the classes that you see listed there. Typical starter package for a revenue assurance team would be OCRA 1, 2, and 3 for everybody, and then they could break out to their electives and the revenue assurance managers class and the 4G LTE program for their team. That's about the most popular combination of classes that most managers are looking at today. What this program is designed to do is to really change the way your team works and learns. Right now, we revenue assurance people are in a real dilemma. We are not invited to the dance when new technologies and products are being conceived, but after it's launched, we're expected to be brought up to speed in a hurry. So what is really needed is for the revenue assurance team to have a much more aggressive stance when it comes to learning new things and being ready to jump when the company is ready to move. So it's about turning your revenue assurance team into a learning-based organization and applying a set of common goals that include continuous learning and continuously challenging each other and supporting each other in learning new things. And that's only going to happen with a program like this, where you're continuously giving them more and more training and making it a part of what people do on a day-to-day basis. Industrial training experts agree the real key to learning practical, useful jobs involves 70% of the time people actually on the job doing things hands-on, 10% of the time with formal lecture and training, and 20% with informal learning. What GRAPPA has done is we have focused on this bottom 10 and 20%, and we are trying to provide you with a rocket booster of activity that's going to give you a very, very strong foundation that's going to allow you to change the agenda for the students from one month to the next, so that as the business's needs change, you can change what you want your students to be learning. We know in this business that every day is a new challenge in telecoms revenue assurance. And we know that problems drop out of the sky, and we have very, very short lead time to prepare to qualify people to get in there and work on those problems. So we've done everything we can to make it possible so that when you are surprised with one of these opportunities, that you can immediately take your people and put them into this training without a whole lot of fuss. How does it work? The pricing works like this. You sign up your team. There is one price for the entire team for the entire year. So it's an enterprise-based pricing plan based on the size of your company, the number of subscribers that you have. So based on the size of your company, there's one price, and that covers you, the managers, it covers your experts, it covers your novices and newcomers, and you as the manager are in complete control of registering and deregistering people from our online portal environment. You, as the manager, are encouraged to design a custom curriculum. You can let students pick from a menu if you want. You can decide that everybody should go through certain classes, or you can ask us for some help in putting together a recommended program. But what's important is you set the timing, the pace, and the curriculum for each student. And you can change it at any time without any commercial consequence. What we do is we put the students, we register them in the programs, and then we track their progress. So every team is assigned a membership manager on our end. That membership manager tracks the progress of each team member each week. We have an online portal where we report their progress, and you will get either a weekly or a monthly report on the individual student progress. You'll see their test scores and any issues or concerns that they might bring up. Each week I will have posted office hours where people can drop in and ask any questions to clear up any bottlenecks they have with problem areas. They can come and do an online video conference with me either through Skype or through our Adobe Connect environment, or we can do a live chat, or we can do a phone call, whatever's going to work for them. So I will have the posted hours. They can coordinate the time through their membership manager. Well, if we managed to get you excited and you're interested in finding out more about the Manager's Edge program, then taking the next step couldn't be easier. In order to get started, all you need to do is get yourself a login and password from your membership manager, or if you want to just get in and take a quick peek, you can use the default login, which is Manager Info, and the default password, which is Password. So if you've got a login and a password from your membership manager, we'll be able to preload a lot more of the information for you. But if you want to just get in and see what it's about, you can go ahead and use the default. Either way, you can go to the portal, which is www.grappa-portal.com, and you can click the link right here in the video, or you can go to that link later. Either way, when you go in, you'll go here to the login screen, put the login and password that you were provided, and after you log in, you will be taken to the corporate portal page. So for every company, there is a corporate portal page so that we can keep the private information about the relationship with your company here. So everything is secured for your company relationship. And if you're the manager, you'll move ahead to the manager portal. So you'll click on Manager Portal, and when you go to the Manager Portal page, at the top, you find the Manager Control Sheet. And here are the different steps of managing your students. The first step is to register as a sponsor. So you'll come here, click on the link. That will take you into the LMS where you can register who you are, what your intentions are, the kinds of things you'd like to take a look at within the environment. When you come back from that, you can click on the speed test link. It's very important that anyone registering students verify that the internet speeds are going to be sufficient to make it a good training experience. So you'll go ahead and take the speed test verification. And then when you come back, if that's okay, you'll be able to take a sample class for yourself. So this is a sample class with a couple of modules from each of the classes, so you as the sponsor manager can see what it's all about without having to be committed to do the full training class. After you have registered and been accepted for activation, the bottom section, the student enrollment section, will have each of the classes that you've been activated for at the bottom. Each of these is a tab on the Google Sheet. So once those tabs are in place, you can simply register, enroll those students that you'd like to take the class. So you put in the name, the email address, which is very important, the phone number, the time commitment, whether you want them to finish the class in 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, or 10 weeks, whether you intend them to take the training from home or from work. And when you've got all the information there, you click an X in this column or the date, and then we'll know you're ready for their registration. And when we register them, we'll put the date here in the date registered. This spreadsheet has been set up so that if you want to put the names in, but you're not sure about the phone number or you're not sure the time commitment, you can use this as a working area for yourself. We won't do anything with it until you click the Ready for Registration. When the date registered has been put in by your membership manager, what that means is the student has been sent a link so that they can register and they can go in and start taking the class. It will also mean that we have begun tracking them in the student tracking area. So this is the student portal, and here each registered student, his name, the time commitment, a link for that student so they can take it to the course, and when we sent them their login information will be on this page. And when they start the class, the first time they log in, that'll be the start date, how many steps of the training they've completed, and their status is listed. As long as the student is on schedule with the time frame that you set up, the status will be good. If they are falling behind, we'll make the status yellow. And if they are far behind, we'll make it red and we'll notify you when they're not keeping up with the speed. So it's actually pretty interesting when we put this up so students can see how the other students are doing and people get kind of competitive for who's going to get done with the course first. When students finish a particular class, they're awarded a certificate of completion, and when they complete the entire curriculum, then they're awarded the full certification and the full certificate from GRAPPA. I hope that the Manager's Edge program looks good to you, and I hope you come on in and take a look at some of the free training. Sign up, get your team registered. We hope to see you in the classroom. Till then, this is Rob Madison signing off for now.